Now let's talk about Luxottica, which produces and distributes sun and prescription eyewear. It's headquartered in Milan, Italy, and it's controlled by the Vecchio family.
Which we'll see in a minute is important, but this is the global leader. Remember, they own Ray-Ban, they own Sunglass Hut. It brought its way into the US market. It's by far the global leader in the production of both the prescription and the sunglass markets as well.
Market cap here, $28.6 billion US dollars, a PE of 30.7, dividend yield 1.7%. Should we start with a graph, as we usually do? And some context. So a sterling performance mid-2015, pulling back and seems to be sort of going on an upward trajectory again.
Yeah. Moved higher with the news that it was going to be merging with Essilor, which we'll talk about in a bit. Yeah. But so Gary, just give us the background here and the overall brands and so on.
Yeah, so again, I mean, I think you mentioned a lot of the brands. I mean, it's also, you can include Oakley's in there as well. But I mean, you know, 79,000 employees, you know, 18 distribution centers, about 40% of their products actually produced in Italy. Obviously, you mentioned that it's controlled by the Vecchio family, which still owns around, I think, 62% of the shareholding via Delphi.
So it comes back to that limited free float.
It's very tightly held, but it's interesting because you know, Leonardo Del Vecchio at least is the second richest man in Italy. He's the primary stakeholder, and I mean, the company's really been struggling, I suppose, with the succession plan for a while, because he said, you know, among all his children, he doesn't want any of them to take over the family business. So he's really, I think investors have been concerned around the future of the company when he steps down. I think he's 81 years old at the moment. So the merger with Essilor is really, it solves one of the problems. I mean, he's going to then
solves the succession problem that you are referring to.
And it really, he's described the whole merger, which, I mean, I suppose you never really have a merger of equals, but this is pretty close. I mean, in terms of market caps, in terms of employee sizes, you know, geographies that they operate in as well, and also, I suppose, very complementary products, one being frames, one being lenses as well. But yeah, definitely this is sort of a lifelong dream of his to merge the two companies too. So it solves succession plans, and the kids are not going to get it.
Taking into account the highs in mid-2015 and the fact that it's on its way up again, do you think we can get back to those highs?
I own some of these in another portfolio, not the hot stocks portfolio, but what has been interesting for me is the succession planning problem was really acute, because this 82-year-old kept firing his CEOs. At first, he indicated that his kids would get the most of his shares. Then he got married for the third time and said, no, wife number 3 must get more shares. And
I wonder whether the wife had anything to do with that.
So there's been that kind of drama going on. With a big international corporation, that's not the sort of thing you want to see. But very, very strong operationally. I mean, their brands, their manufacturing, they also manufacture on account many of the other luxury brands like Armani, Bulgari, Burberry, Chanel glasses. I mean, those are very popular. But if you look at them, those are manufactured by Luxottica as well.
What brand are we talking about there?
These are Police. I'm not sure if they are Luxottica.
So we've got Ray-Bans and we've got Police.
Oakley and Persol is theirs. Now that's, of course, on account of having bought their way into the US market. That's Luxottica at least. So great big listing there. But I almost feel as though what we should do now is do a quick gear change and put up the chart of Essilor and then talk
make
about
a hot or not with the merger having taken. I think that's a very wise decision.